On the morning of June 4th, 2010, a 7-year-old boy walked into Skyline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon, excited to show off his tree frog exhibit at the science fair. His stepmother took a photo of him standing in front of his project, smiling beneath his glasses. That photo would become one of the most haunting images in American crime history, because less than 2 hours later, Kyron Horman disappeared. Not from a dark street, not from a playground at dusk, from inside his elementary school on a Friday morning, surrounded by teachers, parents, and hundreds of children. He was there, and then he wasn't. And 15 years later, no one knows what happened. Kyron Richard Horman was a curious child with a gentle spirit. He loved science, especially amphibians and reptiles. He was small for his age, with sandy brown hair, blue eyes, and glasses that seemed a little too big for his face. His teachers described him as bright and eager, the kind of student who asked thoughtful questions and worked carefully on his projects. He lived with his father, Kyron Horman, and his stepmother, Terry Moulton Horman, in a quiet area near Skyline School. His biological mother, Desiree Young, lived in another part of Oregon. Kyron split his time between both homes, but his primary residence was with his father. June 4th was supposed to be a good day. The school was hosting a science fair, and students were encouraged to arrive early with their parents to set up their displays before the first bell. Kyron had worked hard on his project about the red-eyed tree frog. He'd built a colorful exhibit board, complete with drawings and facts. He was proud of it, and he wanted everyone to see. That morning began like so many others. Terry Horman drove Kyron to school around 8 a.m. The hallways were bustling. Parents wandered between tables covered in volcanoes, solar system models, and plant experiments. Children darted around, showing off their work. It was loud, crowded, and chaotic in the way school events always are.
Terry took a photo of Kyron standing in front of his project at approximately 8:45 a.m. In the image, he's wearing a black t-shirt with the words CSI in green letters. His backpack is slung over both shoulders. His smile is shy but genuine. That photo would soon be distributed to every news outlet in the country. It would appear on posters, websites, and milk cartons. It would be seen by millions, but it would never lead anyone to Kyron. After the photo, Terry reportedly walked Kyron toward his classroom. She said she watched him head down the hallway in the direction of his second-grade room. She left the school shortly after. That was the last confirmed sighting of Kyron Horman. But here's where the story fractures. Kyron never made it to class. His teacher, Mrs. Porter, marked him absent that morning. She assumed he was homesick. No one called to check. The school didn't notify Kyron's parents that he wasn't in attendance. It wasn't until that afternoon, when Kyron failed to get off the bus, that anyone realized something was wrong. Terry had been waiting at the bus stop. When Kyron didn't appear, she called the school. The school confirmed that Kyron had been marked absent all day. Confusion turned to panic. Terry called Kane. They called the school again. They drove back to Skyline Elementary. Staff searched classrooms, bathrooms, the library. Kyron wasn't there. No one had seen him after the science fair ended. At 3:46 p.m., nearly 7 hours after Kyron was last seen, someone called 911. By then, the trail was already cold.
The response was immediate and massive. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office launched one of the largest search operations in Oregon history. Search and rescue teams combed the densely forested area surrounding Skyline School. Volunteers walked grid patterns through thick undergrowth, calling Kyron's name. Helicopters scanned from above. Divers checked nearby ponds and rivers. Bloodhounds were brought in. They tracked Kyron's scent to a specific area near the school, then lost it, as if he had simply ceased to exist. Hundreds of people joined the search. The community rallied. Flyers were printed and distributed across the Pacific Northwest. Kyron's face appeared on every news channel. Tips poured into the sheriff's office, but none of them led anywhere. Days passed, then weeks, then months. No clothing, no backpack, no sign of struggle, nothing. The school was examined inch by inch. Investigators reviewed security footage, but Skyline Elementary had limited cameras, and none captured Kyron leaving the building. Staff and parents who attended the science fair were interviewed, timelines were constructed, but the picture remained incomplete. How does a 7-year-old boy vanish from an elementary school on a busy Friday morning without a single person noticing? As the investigation deepened, attention began to shift. Detectives focused on the last person known to have been with Kyron, his stepmother, Kyron Horman. They scrutinized her timeline, her statements, her behavior. Terry said she'd left the school around 8:45 a.m. and then driven to 2 different grocery stores with her 19-month-old daughter, Kiara. Investigators checked surveillance footage from those stores. The timestamps didn't align perfectly with Terry's account. There were gaps, unexplained windows of time. Terry was asked to take a polygraph test. Reports claim she failed, twice. She reportedly hired a lawyer soon after. Kyron Horman, Kyron's father, filed for divorce and obtained a restraining order against Terry. In court documents, he alleged that Terry had tried to hire a landscaper to kill him months before Kyron disappeared. Terry denied the allegations. She maintained that she had nothing to do with Kyron's disappearance. She stopped speaking to the media. She stopped cooperating with investigators. No charges were ever filed. Law enforcement has never publicly named Kyron Horman as a suspect, but they've never cleared her either. In the years since, detectives have repeatedly stated that Terry holds the answers they need. She has consistently denied any involvement. Over time, other theories emerged. Some speculated that Kyron wandered out of the school on his own, perhaps disoriented or confused, and got lost in the surrounding forest. But Kyron was a cautious child. He wasn't prone to wandering, and the school had multiple exits that would have required him to pass adults. Others wondered if someone else at the science fair had taken him. A stranger, perhaps, who blended into the crowd of parents and didn't raise suspicion. But there were no credible reports of anyone suspicious. No unknown vehicles, no unfamiliar faces that stood out in hindsight. There was also the terrible possibility of an accident, that Kyron had fallen, become trapped, or suffered an injury somewhere on school grounds. But the search was exhaustive. If Kyron had been on that property, the teams would have found him. Each theory has holes. Each raises more questions than it answers. And so, Kyron Horman remains missing. Not lost, not found. Just gone. For Kyron's biological mother, Desiree Young, the pain has never lessened. She has spent the last 15 years fighting for answers, holding press conferences, pleading with anyone who might know something to come forward. She has said that the hardest part is not knowing, not being able to grieve, not being able to heal, because the question of what happened to her son still hangs in the air, unresolved. Kyron Horman has largely stayed out of the public eye, but his anguish is no less profound. He lost his son in the most incomprehensible way, and the person who was supposed to be caring for Kyron that morning became the center of suspicion and speculation. For the Skyline school community, the trauma lingers. Parents still remember that day. Teachers still think about the little boy in the CSI shirt who never came back to class. The school implemented new security measures, but no policy, no protocol can undo what happened. Kyron's case remains open. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office continues to receive tips. Every few years, there's a new lead, a new search, a renewed push for information. In 2016, investigators conducted a large-scale search of Salvie Island, an area near Portland. They found nothing. In 2020, on the 10th anniversary of his disappearance, law enforcement reaffirmed their commitment to solving the case. But the years keep passing, and Kyron is still missing. If he were alive today, he would be 22 years old. He would have graduated high school, maybe gone to college, maybe pursued a career in science. But no one knows. Because on June 4th, 2010, Kyron Horman walked into Skyline Elementary School and never walked out. What makes this case so deeply unsettling is not the mystery itself. It's the setting. Schools are supposed to be safe. They are institutions built on trust. Parents drop their children off in the morning with the absolute certainty that they will pick them up in the afternoon. That contract was broken the day Kyron disappeared, and it shattered the sense of security that so many people took for granted. There is no resolution to this story. No arrest, no confession, no closure. Just a photo of a smiling boy in glasses standing in front of a poster about tree frogs, frozen in the last moment anyone can say for certain that he was okay. Kyron's family still hopes, the investigators still work, the public still wonders, but the silence is deafening. Somewhere, someone knows what happened to Kyron Horman. Somewhere, there is an answer. But for now, all that remains is the question. How does a child disappear from a place filled with people who were supposed to keep him safe? And if it could happen to Kyron in a school on a bright Friday morning surrounded by teachers and parents and friends, how do we ever believe it couldn't happen again?